Well, hello. How's everybody today? Oh, glory. Friday, end of the week, finally. Boy, we got a gang in here. Let me say hello to everybody. Let's see, Diane Altland is here. Diane showed up last week. I was real impressed. I knew how to pronounce her name. I think it's pretty easy. Nice to have you with us, Diane. Brad Hobbies. Fishing Tank Ticks. Nice to see you fishing. Brad and Natural Aquariums. Hello. Who else? Let's see. Joshua Miller, Frugal Aquatics. Tam Shepherd. Hi, Tam. Colored Guppies. Baits and Genetics. Goodness sakes. Nice to see you, both of you. Rick Silva. Hi, Rick. Deborah from Dee Dee's Fin Den. Hi, Deborah. Chris Trapp and Jimmy P. All right, let's get over here on YouTube so I can see what's going on. Pompeii Ranch. Hey, Pompeii Ranch. Top Jet, we went live chat, don't we? There we go. Rick Silva. Ian and Jake. Hello, Ian and Jake. Chris Trapp, how's it going, Lou? Doing pretty good. Had a rough day yesterday, though. I went out collecting. John went with me. We went out past Arcadia. Interminable trip. It took an hour and a half to get there. And when we got there, it was apparently darn near 100 degrees. I lasted about 1 minute and started getting a terrible throbbing in the back of my head that just wouldn't quit. So I had to give it up. So we got, I think we got 6 pygmy sunfish. And that was about it. I wanted to collect plants. I had a whole thing in mind, couldn't do any of it. But I discovered something. I discovered that I became, what's it called when your body runs out of water? Dehydrated. I became dehydrated, and I think that's what caused the pain in my neck. It was like a dull, I don't know, like an ache. Like a dull ache. Got back in the car, started drinking water, got feeling much better, but it was just too hot. It was dreadful hot. And I just haven't got the strength built up yet enough to be able to handle it. All right, who else is here? So other than that, I got home, took a shower, lay down, slept for 3 hours. Feeling better today. Oh, let's see. Joshua Bates and Tam. Aqua Negro. Hello, Aqua Negro. Nice to see you. Jimmy P. Papeo Ranch. Dee Dee's Fin Den. Rick Silva. I'm repeating myself. These are all good people. It's worth repeating. High Rise Window Cleaner. Goodness sakes. Haven't seen you in a while. North Pond, hi. North Pond and Jimmy P. And I mentioned Craig. Roman Sherrock. Roman is here. Hey, Roman. Good to see you. Paul Shreves. Good evening. Doing well. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Kevin Rosenberg. Hello, Kevin. And Isabella, sweet Isabella is here. Nice to see you, Isabella. Well, all right. We're all here. Hail, hail. The gang's all here. I did ask Naresh to do a video for me using a clip from the last live stream where Alex came up. We've had almost 600 hits in the first day. So that Alex, real popular guy. That was great though. It was fabulous. That was a terrific live stream, and it was so nice being able to end it with Alex because it kind of pulled the whole thing together. Oh, tip on breeding bettas. Chris wants a tip on breeding bettas. And Chris says, drink more water. Where's my jug? I have a water jug. I do a little bit of coffee here. I'll drink that when it's gone. I'll fill the cup with water. Tip on breeding bettas. Okay. Tip number 1. You're going to for sure have a male. Make sure you have a female to go with it. Okay. You have to have a male and a female to be able to breed bettas. Now, some people don't understand that. I mean, put the male in, float the female in a jar in the container. You want the container that they're in to be preferably old and worn out and full of mold and dirty in the sense of being full of mold. Lots of plants in it. Deep substrate's good, or at least something that's going to provide nutrition to the plants and the microfauna. Float the female. When the male's got it's tricky to do it this way because the male then blows the nest, and guess what happens? You take the glass out, and the nest attaches itself right to it. It comes right out. So the way to do this is you sink the glass. When he blows his bubble nest, because he's got his lady friend in there, and he's all excited. So he sees her, and he blows the nest, and she gets excited. So when that happens, push it down in the water. Got to tip it to one end, away from the nest. Let it sink, and let her come out. You can leave it in there then. I mean, it's not going to hurt a thing, and it'll provide a little bit of security for her, something for her to hide in or under or around or whatever. And then just let them go. Let them go until you've got eggs. And you'll know when you do. If you're watching middle, you'll see them breed. And they'll get to it. They'll get to it pretty much right away. Give him a day to do that. At the end of a day, he'll chase her out of the way. Then you can take her out. Just net her out. I usually use my hand to scoop her out. You can get the jar out then if you want. And then leave him alone. He's going to take care of those babies. Day 1, day 2 when they hatch, day 3 when they start swimming, day 4 when they're actually swimming around, day 5 when they head down to the bottom to find food. He's going to watch them. Once they're free swimming, then you can take him out. And I always find it's better to do it that way. Leave the babies in there, provided they're in an environment where there's a lot of infusoria. You probably are going to need to add to it because you'll probably wind up with a big batch of bettas. So add to it. Create some infusoria. Let us in a glass of water sitting outside for a day. or two is really all you need. Just start pouring that in. The babies will be able to eat that. It's tiny microscopic food. You can get them on microworm pretty quickly then, after a day or so. Get them on microworm, and then you can kind of grow them up on that. Beyond that, go to brine shrimp. Hatch out baby brine shrimp. It's good for the adults, good for the babies. And that's bettas. Let me back up a little bit to where the question was about bettas. Oh, where is it? Craig Broderick, High Rise North Pond, we did all that. Drink more water, there it is, I got it. Hayden Kanju. Hey, Hayden, nice to see you. Glenn Bailey, hello everyone. Heard of you from KG Tropicals. Love your program. Thank you, Glenn. Nice to have you. We were honored and just deeply appreciated the shout out that KG gave us last week when when John did his video on Substrate. And next time I get a chance to talk to him, I'm going to challenge him to set up one dirted Substrate tank. Just one. Want him to do one. I think I can get him to do that. There are a few other guys and gals who are, kind of big YouTubers, fish tubers, who have not tried deep Substrate tanks yet. And I'm just encouraging them at every opportunity to do one. It can be a little one. It can be 5 or 10 gallons. Doesn't have to be 100 gallons. Something small. And let me show you why. This is why. Look at this. This has, at present, about 15 species of fish in it, and about 25 species of plants. And they're all thriving. They're all doing just brilliantly well. In fact, up here, it's kind of over thriving. I've got some hair algae in there that I've been pulling out. I need to get something to eat it. Snails, I guess. May need to put some bladder snails in there, something to clean that up, or get some kind of algae eater. I'm loath to put anything big in there. These are all pretty tiny fish. But look at this. Look at these guys. I just fed them. They're all excited. These are little shell dwellers. Those are cinnamogills. The blue-eyed cinnamogil. Pretty fish. Great tank. I've got a lot of leaf litter in here. Getting more and more. I did bring back some little hands full of mud from our collecting trip yesterday. And I put that in here, kind of put it down low, so you can't really see it. It sort of dissipated into the tank, but what it did was bring in more microfauna. So there's that. Here's the other one that's really doing well. This is the 40-gallon. And again, just loaded with leaf litter. We're really working on the leaf litter thing. Trying to push that hard and try to get it really well established in the tank. The plants have not come up above it yet much, but we're working on that. Anyway, that's why deep Substrate planted dirt and tank. It allows you to grow plants kind of indiscriminately and grow them in a way that that really beefs up the tank and makes it something pretty spectacular. Aqua Negro IG, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Glenn Bailey, hi, let's see. Hayden Conja, we just mentioned those. Who else? Mince. Jesse's here. Hi, Jess. Good to see you. How do you set up fry grow out tanks with a proper food web? Chris says. Really good question. And we're still working on it. The best way to do it, of course, is to set up a tank with a lot of mulch in it. If you can get some broken down leaf litter and put that in there, it's going to increase the microfauna, and that's really what you want for baby fish. Apistogrammus, if you can set up a tank like that and put a pair of apistogrammus in, this is really ideal because they will spawn in there, and the babies will swim throughout that whole substrate and be able to find food. They'll do extremely well. Most of the field research on apistos has seen them in huge growths of leaf litter, just piles and piles of leaf litter, because it's loaded with microscopic food. So it's perfect not only for the babies, for the adults as well. Brandon wants to know any idea what would cause jungle valve to melt in a dirted tank. Burn the roots maybe. Happened about a week after I set up the tank. Good possibility. One of the things you have to watch out for with a dirted tank, and we talk about this all the time, recommend that when you plant your plants in a newly dirted tank, put the roots in the rooted plants, the stem plants, put them down 1 inch into the sand, not all the way down into the dirt. And the reason for this is that dirt, when it's first put together, is so strong that it'll literally burn up the roots of the plants. If you'll do it the way I'm suggesting, then those roots will find nutrition. They won't be overcome by it. I noticed that years ago. I had a tank and I started getting black root. And when I looked at it, I realized what had happened. The sand cap was shallow. It was only 1 inch. After a matter of a couple of months, that dirted substrate is chelated enough, broken down enough, and reacted enough that it's pretty stable and calm. It's no longer burning everything up. And by then, roots will be able to go down. And it will have begun coming up into the sand. It's a thing you'll notice pretty early on is that the dirt rises up in the sand. It's part of the reason we want to do 2 inches, because it's going to come up 1 inch. It may take a few months for it to do it, but it will. Now, if that 2nd inch, the top inch, if you're mixing in mulch with that humus, mixing in like leaf material, maybe even some slightly coarser sand, like some gravel, dare I say it, a little bit of gravel, mix all that in and put it down as the 2nd inch, as the top inch, and then layer that with a little more leaf matter, leaf litter, humus. What that'll do is provide a lot of nutrition, accessible, available nutrition to the plants right away, which is going to allow you to grow some of those very shallow root plants. That's been one of the real shortcomings of this system, is we've not been able to grow short-rooted plants quickly and easily. Plants like Cuba, but with this kind of system, we can do it because there's nutrition in that upper layer. So it's just really a matter of getting the thing set up so that you've got a lot of microfauna in it, and the babies then will thrive. J-Dog. Add more to it as we go, but it can take him. What is he talking about? I don't know. Oh, J-Dog saying the store is live. FatherFishAquarium.net. Yeah, tried to get on it earlier today and couldn't. But J-Dog says it's there. So we're going to, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. May not even have it. No, I don't have it. Let's see, Father Fish Aquarium.net. Ooh! Oh, I love it. Let me show you. Look at this. Look at this. There's plants, store cart checkout terms. Let's see now. 1 through 9 of 20. Default settings. There's 9. Here's on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. 2. Ah, they're the rams. I do have rams. Pupfish Kelly, that's the wrong picture. Well, I wonder what Pupfish. Oh yeah, okay. I need to get the right picture for that. That's the wrong picture. That's a killifish. What, Appius simian? Pygmy sunfish. More plants. I have lots of plants in stock. I'm filling orders right now for plants. We got 3. We got 1. Oh, there it is. Okay. Supplement and water spray. Well, good. We've made a beginning. So we do have a cart, so you can order stuff. My cart's empty. Return to shop. You can order like Nana Petite. Oh, isn't this cool? You can pay with GPay or PayPal. Add the cart. So, well, good. We're moving right along. Cardinal plant, apology. And Rotala. Wonderful. I'm delighted. We finally have a website that really works. We're going to do more with it. Right now we're just getting stuff up to be able to sell, but we also are going to have a community page and a news and announcements page. So we'll be able to get more information out to folks about what's going on. Brandon MMS. Any idea? Listen, he asked me about the jungle val. Burned out roots. That's a good possibility. Another thing that happens with a lot of these plants, not so much. He's talking about val. A val is generally not grown out in immersed. A lot of the swords are, however. So you can get a sword, put it in your tank, and all the leaves will die. But it'll put up new growth very, very quickly. The reason for this has nothing to do with your tank. It has to do with the fact that the plant has been grown in the air and not in the water. I buy all of my plants from a farm that grows aquatic. They don't grow things up out of the water. They grow things aquatically, and so you don't have that problem. But there are plenty of farms that are growing in vast quantities, and it's easier for them to just grow them in mud, let them grow up, pull them out, rinse them off, throw them in a box, and then by the time you get them and put them in your tank, those leaves are all going to die. They will grow back. They'll come back. So long as the roots are not damaged, they'll come back. But it is a bit disheartening when you have a beautiful tank, a beautiful plant, in a beautiful tank that you've just bought and it collapses. Color guppies, I love that tank. I do too. It's really come along nicely. I'm very pleased. You know, I started these tanks here 3 months ago. I just pulled them out of the old shop, brought them over, plopped them down. Really didn't do anything in particular with them. I wanted to see how they would develop. I have been buying plants, so I've been putting plants in them because I wanted to get a variety of plants. I've had people complaining to me, "Oh, you only have common plants." So now I've got uncommon plants. I got some fancier stuff in there, and it's doing pretty well. My clover's not doing very well. We may have to, I don't know what we're going to do about that. We'll see if it comes up. It may send up new stuff. My jewel cichlids just put 200 eggs on a rock, Chris says, by actual count, I dare say. Well, right. Jewels and convicts are easy fish to spawn. They both tend to be pretty aggressive. But boy, are they easy to spawn. And you're going to wind up with a tank full of fish pretty quick. And you're not going to know what to do with them. Here to tell you. Because there aren't many shops that'll take them. They're much too aggressive. One of the real problems with growing out jewelfish and convict cichlids is they're very prolific, easy to breed, easy to spawn, easy to grow up the fry, and then you wind up with 100, 200 fish an inch long, and you don't know what to do with them. Well, I'm going to give you some advice. Once you've done this one time, you won't do it again, for sure. One of the things you can do with those fry is feed them to other fish. It's a perfectly appropriate thing to do. Once they get up a couple of weeks, quarter of an inch or so, they're great food for other fish. Hate to say it that way because I know how much people who just bred them for the first time are so excited and love them and really want them, and that's fine. Go with it. But you're going to hit the wall with it. You'll reach a point where you've got a whole bunch of them, and they're big enough now to be a problem. You need to move them into a bigger tank. You can dedicate a tank to them, but then what have you got? And then the parents are back there doing it all over again. So you learn through this process how to deal with it. Providing them as food for larger fish, or even small fish when they're babies, is a perfectly appropriate and reasonable and very natural way to deal with this issue. It's precisely what happens in nature. It's why we're not overrun by fish that produce thousands of babies. If all of those babies survived, there wouldn't be anything else. But 99% of them get eaten. You know, a pair of fish only need to replace themselves one time in their lifetime to be able to maintain the population. If they double it, the population doubles. I mean, that can be explosive. So it's rare, indeed rare, for baby fish to survive in the wild. It literally never happens. The percentage of baby fish that survive in the wild is probably 1 in 10,000. If it's that high, it's probably not even. T-Bone is here. Hello, T-Bone. And thank you so much for the $5 super sticker, the Aussie super sticker. Thank you very, very much, T-Bone. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Let's see, who else is here? Tim's and Liam's Fish and Turtles. Well, hello. I need to talk to you guys. I'm looking for turtles. I want to get some turtles going. Brendan MNS, we did that. Let's see. J Dog 2. Too Coolie for Schoolie. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. And J Dog said, was that a Nemo plushie? Yes, it is. That Nemo sat in my store for 10 years. And it hovered over a box, a jewelry box, a pirate treasure box that was full of jewels, gold doubloons and diamonds and sapphires, all of those, those little bags of colored glass. It was loaded with all that. And all the little kids would come in and ask if they could have 2 jewels from Nemo's treasure chest. We gave out thousands of jewels to little tiny kids in Nemo's treasure chest. You had to move Nemo and open his chest and then sit there and go through it. And I did things like I had shark's teeth in there. So you could pull out shark's teeth too. But you could only have 2. The rule was if you take more than 2, you can never have another one. But if you take 2, you can take 2 every time you come back. And it was wonderful. Daddy, 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 I want to go in a father fish and get jewels. It really worked. And we had a delight. So again, we tried to do things for little kids because it's so important to have little children excited about this hobby. Let's see. Elaine Lucart. I tried betta breeding a few times. Only a few ways to get it right and many mistakes to make. Don't be discouraged a few times. That's really good advice, Elaine. It really is. For so many of these fish, learning how to breed them is a process. You don't always succeed the first time. And you may with jewels and you may with convicts. You will with guppies and other live bears. But so many of these fish, like the tetras and all the rainbows and just so many of them, it's more involved. You have to do a few things. You have to have things lined up for it to happen right. But you learn. You fail, and the important thing is to figure out why you failed so you can correct for that. And it's usually pretty obvious. Correct for that and do it again. You make another mistake, correct for that, do it again. I mean, you're building a chain, really, that's got maybe 10, 15 links in it. And you got to get them all right. And once you get them all right, it's like clockwork. It really is. I mean, once you get it nailed as to how to breed a certain fish, you're going to never have a problem breeding that fish. It'll happen automatically because you will have everything in place to make it happen. But you got to put in the work. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the time. You got to think your way through it. Keeping fish is as much a matter of understanding what's going on as it is a matter of doing things that people tell you to do. In fact, it's more the former than the latter, because you can get lots of advice, 99% of which is utterly worthless. The only thing that really helps, that really matters, is your own personal experience. And that's what you have to rely on. Oh, you can get advice, you can talk to friends, you can talk to people who have done it, and you can learn some things that way. But until you do it, until you put those steps in place, you don't really get it. You don't really understand what's at stake. So, Elaine, you're absolutely right. Hang in there with it. It'll happen. You'll get it worked out. Guaranteed. Am I down to the bottom? I didn't think so. Oh, sliders. Don't want sliders. Let's see. I need to back up. Shall I pull the rock the jewel cichlid eggs are on and make an egg tumbler? No, not at all. Leave them in there with the parents. They'll be good parents. They'll take care of them. And it'll give you a much more pleasurable experience because you'll be able to see the parenting of the fish. By all means, leave the babies in with the parents. Unless it's a fish you really prize and you've got a good reason for pulling the babies out or the eggs out, you always want to leave them in there. The parents will do a better job than you of hatching them out. Oh, J-Dog said he had a hard time getting the picture for pup killifish. I'll send it to you. I should have it somewhere. I've got it on GetGills. Copy it from GetGills. I'll send you one. Anubias nanopetite. I love Anubias nanopetite. I've got some growing over here somewhere. Saw it just the other day floating, I think. If I can find it. Maybe not. No. That looks like it, but it's not. There's a plant that looks like it a little bit. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a stem plant that's just kind of broken off. I saw some nanopetite in here. It's probably gone to the bottom. I like it. It's a neat plant. Somebody ordered a whole bunch of Anubias from me, which I've got to get that order together and get it out. Let's see. Michelle Gibson says, good morning from Australia, gorgeous fishing friends. Good morning to you. Tina and Liam, my convict cichlids at fry. Bravo. I'm totally lost here. Okay, I'm back to Elaine's comment. So we'll go forward from there. 2 Coley for Scully. If one had some fluorite red left over, could one use it as a substrate for the iron oxide in your soil formula? Absolutely. Yes. Or any other kind of clay, any clay substance. What I recommend you do, however, is put it in water, kind of emulsify it. Turn it into water. Dissolve it. And then mix that in with your soil. That spreads it out nicely and makes it all much more accessible to the plant roots. Tam Brandon, I made sure it was in the dirt in my video, right? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. In a brand new tank, it's going to burn it up. It just will. But you can avoid it by planting just an inch down in the sand. And that'll work fine because it'll send out roots very quickly and it'll find nutrition very quickly. So it works just fine. Plants are really good at finding nutrition. You don't need to stick it in their mouth. They don't need to be hand-fed. You can just put them close and they'll make it happen. Michelle Gibson, 10:45 in Australia. Adam West, that's an excellent point, Fatherfish. I've been able to have dwarf hairgrass grow in my tank because of mulm and decaying plant material on the surface. That's absolutely right. You know, this is what no-till farming has taught us, is the importance of the top layer. And we haven't paid any attention to that in the aquarium, but we're working on it now. And we're finding that leaf material is really the key to it, because that is the most basic, fundamental, and most common source of nutrition for the entire food chain or food web in the aquatic environment. Leaves are key, absolutely key. All of the research points to that. All of the research demonstrates that it is leaves that form the foundation of the food web in whatever the body of water it is. Now, to do that, you have to have mycelium and bacteria that are appropriate to be able to break them down. A couple of folks with us over on Discord of late are trying some of the prepared mycelium additives that are available from garden stores and farm stores, and they seem to be working. So you can try that. No guarantees yet. We're not sure of it, but so far it looks pretty good. Looks like it might give us what we want. We know that there are different kinds of mycelium. There are some that are aquatic and some that are terrestrial. And some of the terrestrial will not live aquatically. I got a notification the other day about fruiting fungus. Actually makes a mushroom in the water. Looked it up. It's Colorado, I think, or Idaho. I don't remember. Cold flowing water. There is one species that's been found only in that location. Been studied now for about 10 years. Fascinating. If we could get something like that going, wouldn't that be amazing? Grow toadstools in your fish tank. I love it. Brandon, been called Sweetie. Oh, Michelle. Brandon says, Michelle, I've been called Sweetie in a long time. I know. We old men certainly do appreciate the kindnesses of ladies. We do indeed. And they are generous with their kindness. And I certainly appreciate it. Master Black is here. Hello, Master Black. Here just to say hi since it's almost 4 a.m. Whoa! I thought it was morning in Australia. Guess he's at the other end of the country. Nice to have you with us, Master Black. Who says, I think I'll go to bed very soon. I think that would be appropriate. But I'm happy you stopped in. Thank you so much. Isabella T-Bone. Ask Llewellyn. Are pygmy sunfish good for outdoor tubs? It's very hot in Arkansas. Tub is in parts on 110 gallons. They do remarkably well in tubs. It's an ideal fish to put in tubs through the summer. They will breed, and you'll have lots and lots of babies. So when the fall comes around, you can pull them out. They're pretty hardy. They're not going to make it through a freeze, but they're pretty hardy. They can get down pretty cold. They can get down, into the 40s and 50s. So you can leave them out pretty late in the season. But if you freeze hard, you want to bring them in before there's a danger of that. Now, Brandon's saying, I hate sword plants. They check everything else out. They are a big plant. And if you put them in a small tank, they're going to do precisely that, because they can fill a tank. I'll tell you another one that'll do that too, is the bulbs. The bulb plants will absolutely take over. Here's a good example. There's a couple of examples. That guy back there is a bulb plant. Oh, there's another one too. These darn things. See the leaves on top? I've got this tank covered. That's frog's pit. and it's dreadful. Boy, I got some algae in there too. Look at that. There's another Aponigeton back there, and there's a couple right up here. These are Madagascar lakes. They'll get pretty big too. All these bulb plants. And here's one that'll absolutely take over your plant. It's the Java Temple. That'll get leaves 6 inches around and just block the light off from everything. So yeah, it's important to have to plant appropriately. You can put some plants in a tank that are just gonna just take it over. So you want to be careful about what you're putting in. Small plants in small tanks. Osceola. Yes, by all means. I do sell them. They are available. I've got I got about 10 left in stock right now. And if I need to, I'll go get more. I'll just take some help with me that can actually catch them. John couldn't figure out how to do it. He kept saving Gambusi. So, all right. Shall I pull the rug? Yeah, we did that. Yeah, you want to try to leave your eggs. If a pair of fish lay eggs, leave the eggs in there with them. If you can get the troublemakers out of the way, the other fish, although the parents will do a really good job of protecting their nest. But any of the cichlids, for example, that lay eggs, they do a really good job. Let them hatch the babies, let the babies start swimming, and then if you need to siphon some out in order to grow them out separately, you can do that. But by and large, it's best to leave, excuse me, to leave the adults, leave the babies in there. Tim and Leva had to put different catfish in the tank to help with the fry, to help eat them, I'll bet. Rose says, sell them on Aquabed. You can sell some, but some of those fish are not going to sell. They just ain't all that cool. Chris says, sounds like you've had a jewel or two. Yeah, I've had a jewel or two. We kept catching them yesterday. They're all over Florida. And they're pretty fish. They're beautiful fish. But boy, they're a mess in a tank. They're just so aggressive. Brendan, more babies equal bigger tank. Hey, honey, we're going to the fish store. Really? Ro, nice to see you. Good to have you with us. And Tam is still trying to find homes for all of her angelfish. Tam sent me a couple. I did lose one. I don't know why or how, but here's the other. And he's just doing so well. Pretty fish. She did really well. Let's see. Tim and Liam, aquatic. The babies had babies. Oh dear. I know what that's like. Isabella, I put baby guppies in my African cichlid tank, and all were getting eaten except one. I felt sorry for him, so I pulled him back out. Well, all right. Did T-Bone just send us a second? I think he did. A second $5. I'm going to put it up if I can find it. If he didn't, I'm sure behind. Xanadu. Hello, Xanadu. Joshua's here. How often do I feed my aquariums? I'm just kind of jumping around now. I'm so far behind. Thank you, T-Bone, very, very much. I can't find this on StreamYard where I'd be able to post it, but I see it there. You know what I can do? I can I can pin it. No, I can't. Won't let me. That's funny. Who will? Oh, where are we? Rigo. Hello, Rigo. What's your advice on care for red tiger lotus? I just put in my 75-gallon with angelfish. Um, my advice is enjoy it while you can because it's going to take over your tank. And then you have a decision to make. I've got one back here. I pulled the leaves off the top so many times. I think I finally got it knocked back. Leaves like that, completely covering the top of the tank. It's a lily after all. T-Bone didn't realize you were on tonight. Yeah, Friday here. Let me give you my schedule. Starting Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Now this coming Monday, I will not be live streaming. I've got to go to the doctor and get a stress test, which I don't think I'm going to pass, but I need to do it so I can get into cardiac rehab and try to get some of this weight off and get some muscle mass built. So Monday, normally 9 o'clock. This week I won't do it. If I get back and I'm in good shape, I'll come on a little later. Maybe I'll come up with Jess and chat with her for a while. Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. Every Wednesday at 9 in the morning. This is Eastern Daylight Time. Friday here, 8:30, Friday evening. Sunday evening at 5:30. So there are 4 times I'm on during the week. Monday and Wednesday mornings at 9, Friday at 8:30, in the evening, and Sunday at 5:30. Mary Page is going to try to be on with me on Sundays, and we're going to try to do children's programming. So anybody who can help us put that together, we will appreciate it. What else? Tim and Lee, I'm talking about sliders. Yeah, I can get sliders. I'm looking for fancier stuff. I need to get hold of my reptile guy and see if I can come up with some neat turtles. Aquatic nest. We added leaf litter to a tank with fry in it. Perfect aquatic nest. Keep us posted on how that's working out. This is brand new. Nobody's really done this before. Pompeii Ranch. Thank you so much, Pompeii Ranch, for your two. Oh, there's Tim and Liam. Tim and Liam, thank you for the $5 super sticker. I need to back up here. There's another one. Pompeii Ranch. There's a $2. Thank you, Pompeii Ranch. These all help a lot. The algorithm has shifted dramatically, particularly for the fish fam. Those of us who were getting maybe 2,000-3,000 hits a day are now down to well under 500. I'm gradually getting it built back up, but it's really tough because they're just not putting it out. They're not sharing as to the same extent they did before. Elaine Leucart, I'm a plant killer too. I built a basket out of craft plastic canvas and put the plants in it. Hopefully they get taller to reach the lights on top. If that doesn't work, I'm trying root hormone powder. No, that'll probably work. A natural aquarium says he thinks guppies would probably get his vote for best starter fish. I think he was talking to Hayden Conju, apparently asked about starter fish. Yeah, live bears, any of the live bears are going to be a really good starter fish. You will definitely get fry. You'll be able to grow them out. It'll give you a real sense of how to kind of carry on with that whole process. Jimmy P. I've had 3 angels and a 29, and they can be aggressive. I'm not sure about compatibility with dwarf Grammys. Boy, I'm missing a lot of stuff here. Angels and dwarf Grammys. The dwarf Grammys are big enough to survive with the angels. Dwarf Grammys can be difficult to keep. They're farm raised here in Florida, and for some reason just don't do well. They also can tend to be aggressive. So, they're pretty fish. They're worth trying. There are other smaller Grammys you can get into. Well, if I can find any here. I got J-Dog some honey Grammys, which are much smaller. I got some in here somewhere. There's one back there. I don't know if you can see them. They're about an inch long up at the top. These are orange. They can be pretty. They'll have a lot of color in them. And then there are the really tiny ones, like the sparkling gourami and the croaking gourami. And they're really tiny. They're half an inch maybe. So there are a lot of different kinds of gouramis. Then you get into the really fancy stuff with the chocolate gouramis, the licorice gouramis. Oh boy, that's a lot of fun. And they're some kind of hard to keep. Mississippi Hippie, hello, hello. Has anyone had the dwarf Leopold's angelfish? I have not. Don't know about it, Chris. Brandon, 5-gallon, go with silver tip tetras or neons. Perfect small fish for a 5-gallon. You betcha. Now, I've got something here. These are green neons. Let's see if we can spot any. I have, yes, right there. See those? Right there. They're wild caught, and they are solid as a rock. I've had them a number of times. Had them in the shop. They're smaller than a regular neon. These are ember tetras right there. That's an ember. That's a golden mountain minnow. But these neons are really wonderful. Look at them up there. They're all hiding up there. We got about 20 of them in here. And then these guys, the little tiny ember tetras. So yeah, there's some pretty cool little tiny fish that are pretty easy to keep. Has anyone had the dwarf Leopold's angel? We did that. Now I'll tell you what, it's 9:30, and Lucas is coming on right now, and the deal here is we do 1 hour, and I've done 1 hour, and I'm sorry I didn't make it to the bottom. I'll be back Sunday night. Come on in Sunday night, and we'll get to more of this stuff. Natural Aquariums is coming in with some interesting comments about the leaf stuff. So, let's see if we can get a little tune up here. And we will see you all Sunday night at 5:30. Hang in for Lucas coming up right now, and then at 10:30, Alex will be on. So we're gonna have Maple Street. We're gonna have about 5 programs on Friday evening in hour intervals that are gonna just knock your socks off and will be absolutely wonderful. So let's do, what do we want to do? Guess we ought to finish with what we started. Let's go. Let's just go with, well, oh no, I know what. Not that. This coming up right there. Well, here we go. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh dear. Nice to be with you all. See you Sunday, 5:30. Same time, not same time, different time, same station. Come on back. Delighted to have you all with us. It's been a great evening. God bless. Have fun with Lucas and Alex tonight. Bye for now. It's my mother. Lumpy dog.